is the third video in the series about the mental aspects regarding making recordings and doing live performances. And yeah, you saw me struggle. Bach, of course. Bach is always a struggle. It's number 905. And you saw immediately the difference between making recordings and doing live performances. Because you saw making errors and you saw me stopping and trying again and again and again. And finally, I've managed to play the piece, a bit of it. But if you are doing live performances, it doesn't work this way. You can't start 5 times over. And it's pretty much the subject about today's video. Stress, anxiety in doing live performances and also in making recordings. What are the differences? What are the similarities? And what can you do about it? So I hope at the end of this video I have given you a few nice tips that you can use in your own musical practice. My name is Fright. In the daily life I'm working in the field of company ethics and psychology. And in the evening I am playing the organ. And this series connects that all together. If you want to learn more about my background, my professional background, please go to my personal channel www.gatorworks.nl. And did I say www? That's Dutch. What's the English? www. Fool. Anyway, gatorworks.nl, and there you can find a professional resume to download. Yeah, stress. This is the third video. The first video was all about concentration, focus, attention. And the second video from last week was all about heart versus mind. And this one is about stress. And that's something we all have to deal with, all performing artists and of course also organists. I have written a paper because it's a pretty important subject and I don't want to forget anything. Yeah, what's stress? Stress is a feeling of emotional and physical tension. And it can come from any event of circumstances, and it can make you feel angry, sad, tensed, aroused. It can do all kinds of things with you. Is stress bad? Not definitely. You have good, healthy stress, and you have unhealthy stress. More about that later. Stress. Yeah, to be personal, I have looked back. What was my most stressful moment in making organ music? And I think that was at the beginning of this year. My dear friend, organist and composer Graham Twist, and go look him up, wrote a piece for me, dedicated a piece to me with a wonderful name, Song at Dusk. A piece that fits me as a glove. But Graham has a difficult style of writing. He uses a lot of accidentals, because he first played the music and afterwards he gonna write it down. And I saw the score, and of course I wanted to play it because I like all his music and I like Graham. And when I looked at the music, my first thought, I never can play it. I never can learn it. That's not a healthy thought to begin with. So I printed the score and I sat down at behind my old console at the time. And I played the first few bars, and I thought, oh no, that's I can manage it. And then it became difficult, and it became more difficult, and I failed, and I failed, and I failed again. It didn't work. I couldn't get it in my fingers, and Graham gave me some time to learn it, but it took me too long, so he paid it himself and uploaded it on his channel. Gave me more stress because I felt like a failure. Then my friend James Flores, Australia's most beloved YouTube organist, recorded it also. And I felt smaller and smaller and smaller because I rested with the piece. And finally I asked James, buddy, how can I learn this? And he gave me some tips and tricks. Until that moment I've learned all pieces with individual notes, and he learned me to recognize patterns and to memorize patterns and to play patterns and to trust on my physics and my muscle memory. And that was a trick. In a week I could play the piece. But it gave me stress beyond belief. It was terrible. I'm sure Graham watches this video, and I don't want him to feel guilty, because for me it was a really important process. It was for me necessary to step up a level as musician. So it was a very worthy lesson for me, and very important in my development as a musician. But at that moment it was very, very stressful. We as musicians of course have to deal with stress. One of the biggest one is stage fright. In Dutch, podiumangst. Same. Stage fright. And why? But first of all, what is it? Stage fright is that you are on a stage before an audience and you don't feel comfortable. You can feel tense. You can get warm. Have to go frequently to the toilet. Even get dizziness. And feeling worse, and that can happen. A lot of professional artists have to deal with performance with stage fright. Even famous actors and world famous musicians, and they feel tension. They feel they have to perform. They feel sometimes I can't do this, but I must do it. And sometimes they gonna use substances, drugs, or alcohol. You all know it, of course. I'm happy we organists are relatively healthy, so let's keep it that way. But that's a stress. So you can get all kinds of things. Tremors, stress. even things that really influence your performances. That's live performances on a stage. And if you perform in a church organ, that's your stage, the organ loft. But if you make recordings at home, there's no one here. Is there a difference? Yeah, there is a difference in the fact that you can start again. You can start over. You can push the record button again and again and again and again. And no one will ever know it when you do an upload. But your mind says the same things to you as if you are on a live stage. When you push the button, the record button, at that moment you are feeling audience. And that's strange. But that's the way how our mind works. If you hit the recording button, you of course know, I want to express myself to the world, I want to publish this on YouTube, on Instagram, or whatever medium you are using. I want to share this with the world. And if you want to share something with the world, then you are putting yourself on a stage. So even if you make recordings from your home, there can always be some anxiety. And it's not, of course, exactly the same, because if you fail in your organ room at home, the consequences are much less than if you fail in a church or in a concert hall. So of course there's a difference, but that's the difference after you performing or during the performance. There's no difference in starting the performance. So that's exciting, yeah, you can also use it, the recordings. If you want to learn a piece, that's difficult. Most people, can get a bit sloppy. And go. I make an error and it's okay. But if you record yourself, you can't hide. And if you decide to publish, you can't hide. So that's a good way to learn, because if you start hitting the record button, there's all kinds of processes happening in your mind, and at that moment you are not only playing music, but you are performing, and other things get important. So it's very, very nice for learning. Should you upload your learning process? I'm no fan of that, unless it serves a goal. If you want to do that as a teacher, so that other people can learn from you, that's maybe nice. But otherwise, I should stick to the final product. But that's my opinion. Of course, you can think in another way about it. But where is your stress, possible stress, coming from? First of all, birth. Some stress you are born with, born with, because some people have more stress in their body, in their mind than others. And that has to do with genetics and your parents and your family. So that's nothing you can do about. If you don't have a burden in that way, then you are a lucky guy or girl. Second is life experiences. Some people say what doesn't kill you make you stronger, but that isn't always necessarily so psychological. Because if you have mixed a few very nasty experiences, maybe you are gonna be more afraid to try it again. For instance, if you give a concert and that is a total failure, do you think you will you get more self-esteem and more trust in your next concerts? I think not. And it didn't kill you, but it didn't make you stronger. Some things can make you stronger, but not necessarily so. Life experiences. The third one is perfection. We talked about it in the last video. Music is all about expression, about human expression. It's a form of art. It's not a form of science. If you see music as a form of science, then you can put all notes in a computer and let it play via a MIDI system, and then you get sound. But is that music? No, it's not music. So don't strive to be perfect, because music has to be perfect. Even the big musicians make errors, and we have to fight as musicians against the culture of perfectionism in our field of work. We have to make expression and meaning of music much bigger than perfectionism. So that's perfectionism. Another way is the anxiety to fail. You can think, I'm a loser, I'm a nothing. I talked about it also in the earlier videos. But if you are afraid to fail, then the chance that you are failing is big. And the last one is sensitivity. You probably have already ever heard about high sensitive people. Some people are more sensitive than others. Sensitive for all kinds of things, for smell, for sound, for people, for energy. And if you are doing especially live recordings, and if you feel the people and hear the crowd in the church, if you are really sensitive, then that can be a burden to your performances. So that's stress. And the good news is you can tackle it. You can tackle it, much of it. Of course, the things that you have in your body because of born and because of your genetics, yeah, that's difficult. But most of the stress is you can deal with, because stress isn't about ability, it isn't about performance, it isn't about people, it's about your thoughts. And you are master of your thoughts. So change your thoughts and change your stress levels. That's the good news. And I think I'm gonna explain it in 3 steps. The first step is before the performance. The second is during the performance. And the third is after the performance. And to make it easy, I don't make a difference between making recordings at home or doing live performances. But most of them are the same, the same things. So before you start, the first thing is know your stuff. You have to learn and to practice, and to practice, and to practice more, and to practice more. So know your stuff. How better it's in your system, in your muscle memory, in your mind, how better things are automated, how easier it is to play. And if you want to learn more about preparations before a concert or a recital, please go to the channels from my friends Vidas and Osra. They have recently both have made a video about their way of preparations. I shall put the link underneath this video. Yeah, just know your stuff. And I do a lot of uploads. And sometimes I just master a piece. For instance, the piece that I uploaded earlier today, Melody in G major from Gilma. It has a few difficult harmonies, and I just can master it. So it took me 10 tries before it was on. I've recorded it right. Are I up to play that thing live in a concert? No. I have to play it more often. So I can play it without errors, but I haven't. I have played it not enough. So if I want to use that piece at a concert, I have to play it every day for a month or 2 weeks or whatever. Other pieces that I can master easily, and that's also can be different for every person. Some people are learning Baroque pieces easier. Other people more contemporary music or romantic music. So know your stuff. That was the first. The second one is stay in your circle. If you don't know what circles are, go back to the first video. Stay in your circle. Me and my task. What do I have to do? Making music. But last week, my friend Fraser Garchor, famous organist, with a very big YouTube channel, I said, yeah, I've talked about it with Rien. But that's not the way how I perform. Because if I perform, I'm thinking about all other things. About I have to walk the dog and I have to buy groceries. That all kind of thoughts are going to my mind while I perform. So, and if I start to focus, then I'm gonna make errors. How does that work? I think he's right. If you are experienced, very, very, very experienced, and I repeat, very, very, very experienced, then processes are getting automated in your system, and that's the case with Fraser. An example: if I ask you, what's 10 times 10? You say 100. You don't need a calculator or a computer or have to calculate the number. You know it. You learned it. It's in your system. And that's with his music. So it's in his system. It's automatic. His hands find automatically the right chords. He knows his stuff. He really almost can play it while sleeping. But there's a danger. Because there can happen a disconnection. So a failure. And it's possible that you are playing and thinking, hey, I go wrong. Your hands going all ways, playing all kinds of wrong notes. That can happen if you use the automatic playing mode. The good thing is, the people who are using their automatic playing mode a lot have also programmed their mind to recover from errors. So go to a concert from Fraser and watch him play, and sometimes you can hear him making an error, but automatically he corrects himself. So that's nice. But lesser gods like me have to be very conscious in their playing at most pieces. Some pieces are for me also automatic. So that's a second. The third one, know your balance between healthy and unhealthy stress. There is a science-based knowledge about it. There is a law, the Yerkes-Dodson law. He's a scientist. He has found out that there is a balance between anxiety, performance, pressure that's good for you, that lets you perform better, and stress what goes over the curve and affect your ability to perform negatively. So a bit of tension is good and help you with performing. Too much tension is against you. And you have to find out yourself where your breaking point is. That's for everyone different. So that's that. What you can do if you are very sensitive and feel and hear everything around you, you can use the orange net methodology. And an orange net, that's a net where if you buy oranges or grapefruits or whatever, they are coming in an orange net, and to keep them together. But you can see them. Okay. If you are if people are bothering you, if you are very sensitive about everything, you can do this. Take a spot for yourself, a still spot. You can be a toilet, and close your eyes and imagine yourself that you have an orange net and that you put it on your head, on your body. So you're covered in the orange net. People can see it. They can see through it. You can see through it. But you have made a protection layer between you and everything that possibly bothers you. So it's a sort of self-defense. And it sounds strange and it sounds spiritual, but it isn't. It's just psychology. And it works. So it's shielding yourself from too much anxiety and too much, what's the word? I lose it. Too much sensitivity around you. So that's a wise thing to do. 5. Trust your abilities. You can, because if you couldn't, you weren't there. And it's the same with making recordings. Trust that fact that you can do it. And then if you go to live performances, you have to choose what's your best way to preparation, to prepare for it. Are you going to mingle in the public? Are you taking a coffee? Do a bit talking, or go and take a walk, or sit at the organ bench or piano bench or whatever musical instrument you are playing, and take time to reflect, to do some relaxation exercises, maybe some yoga or meditation. It's all possible. You have to find out what fits you. That are your preparations. And then it's time to go. So, back to the preparation before you start. It's also important that you enjoy the process. So focus on having fun and making it not heavy for you. Then while playing, again, of course, focus. The people, the public, the audience, all is not interesting anymore. It's now only you. You and your canvas. Your canvas is your musical instrument. Focus. Now, for example, you start to play, and if all goes well, it's okay. But now you are gonna make errors. Just a few errors. Maybe I can show it. I take the same piece from Bach, and I'm gonna make some errors. I think I made 7 errors. I've played several. I forgot to play the how do you call it? There's also anxiety because I forgot the English word flat. Yeah, instead of a B flat, I've played the B 7 times. Of course, you are musicians, you have heard it, but most of your audience don't even hear it. So don't bother it. Go on, play on, enjoy the piece, and never think about it again. It's okay. So that's a few errors. But you can also go totally wrong. Example of it. The same piece. Okay. If this is happening, then you can better start over. Take a deep breath, take a few seconds, and try again. What now probably is happening is you are full of adrenaline, stress, so you will make more errors in a retry than you usually make. Don't bother, because most of your audience will never hear it. That's the way to do it. So the preferred, if you make errors, try to go on, and if you totally go wrong, try again. And if you try 2 times and it doesn't work, skip the piece and go on to the next one. So that's also a good tip. You can make a program, but always have some spare pieces at hand that you can play. And take pieces that you really easy can master. So that can help you a lot. So, happily away with Bach. Okay, that's our tool. But there can also happening something else, and that's a brain fart. That you are forgetting a piece, that it goes all wrong. And we had already talked about going on, and stop it. But that's a third one, and that's solve it in a way that fits you. And if you are a serious organist, then you probably can fix it with a few nice chords or harmonies. And if you are an artist with a sense of humor, you also can make your arrows big. That's my style. And I shall give you some examples. I have here a trumpet voluntary, oh yeah, a trumpet voluntary need trumpets. Do I have trumpets? Yeah, I have trumpets. So this is piece. It's soft. Let's put it a bit. Yeah, that's all. Okay, now let's say that you get a brain fart while playing it. Only the first 4 notes that I've played are at the score. So I make Fonfino. And if you are a bit experienced, then you know your harmonies and you can make it up and take some time to find the right spot again. So that's what I'm going to do now. What I now did is playing piece going wrong and improvised some harmonies until I found a connecting point, got my senses back together and play further if there is nothing happened. That's the regular way to do it. But you can always, of course, make it more fun. playing in München or in the Tiroler land. However, if you are in Tyrol, I would also make it from 4/4 to 3/4. That's even better, I think. Yeah, that's better. That's better. Yeah, so that's also a possibility that you can make it up and make some fun about it. Playing some other tune in the middle. So find harmonies and go on. So that is a way of correcting yourself 3. So first, always preferred, just go on. If you are if you're going total in failure, do a restart. Or find some harmonies and get yourself together and go on. If you ask me, then I always prefer to go on, and especially at live performances. So that's the brain part. And after you finished a piece, a difficult piece or a piece with errors, you have to say to yourself, new piece, new chances, and enjoy yourself. So that's while playing. Then after playing, after playing, it's also important to relax. You have to say to yourself, if you are done, even if you make errors, I've done it to my best abilities on this moment, and I can be proud on myself. Because you can get mad on yourself, you can get angry, you can show all kinds of emotions, but it doesn't help you any further. Accept that it is as it is. And yeah, of course, you can be a bit angry and give a kick, not to the organ, but to a marmor pillar, of course. In the church there are a lot of them, in at least in European churches. And yeah, you can also cry, it's also okay, because music is about emotions, and you are about emotions and performances, it's okay. But don't stay there too long, because it won't help you further. So, to relax, focus on your accomplishments, don't mind a few errors, and learn from it, and be mild to yourself. So, that's the way how you can deal with stress while performing in recording. And this is the last of this series. So if you want to tackle, if you want me to tackle other subjects regarding music making and psychological effects, then just let me know. I probably made a few errors in English in this video, but I really wanted to make videos in just one take. To get a whole story, and I hate it when I have to look myself and I have to watch videos myself that are cut in all kinds of parts, so I prefer to go on. Hey, that's in everything what you do. There's no difference if I play the organ or if I do a talk. I want to go on, and I don't mind a few errors. So this is it, and I want this video and this series to conclude with some nice words from a man with the name Virgil Thompson. And he said, I never known a musician who regretted being one. Whatever deceptions live music may have in store for you, music itself is not going to let you down. Not now, not ever. So that's the hope you all have as musicians. So thank you for watching, thank you for being here, and I hope to see you in my other videos, my music videos, or maybe talking videos. If you want me to, let me know. Bye bye.